Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. Today we have a very special treat for you because guess what? Just last week I was playing in the ESL North American Weekly, as I do every single week, and I got to play against one of my buddies. Now, he is, I think, like about rank 15 in the world right now. It is, of course, me in the bottom right side and Astrea in the top left. Representing Pro Team Alpha X, I, of course, represent my clan called Taste the Bacon, or Pig Pan there for short, since Taste the Bacon doesn't fit. And playing against him, Astrea being, of course, such an insanely high-level Protoss player, I was like, you know what? You know what, buddy? This will be a fun match. Let's go for it. And he was so disrespectful of how much of a threat I was. Do you know what he did? He said, hey, Pig, guess what? How about we play random? I'll play random versus you. And I was like, I was already playing random, but are you sure you want to play random against me? You know, you don't practice off-race very much. You're mostly a Protoss player, buddy, so it's fine. He said, no, not only that, I think you are so little of a threat, mate, that I'm going to pick the Australian server as well. You know what? You can have the really low ping. I'll play with 120, 130 ping. No worries, mate. And this absolutely riled me up because that, in my mind, shows that he does not think I'm a threat at all. I was like, are you serious, mate? You think I am that little of a threat? I go to... And already it starts. I come in to block his command center. I see his Terran, and I don't quite block it on time. I did too big of a circle, and he immediately does a laughing face at me. And my SCV has to run away because he also got the first hit off as well. Absolute disrespect. Now, on the plus side, he did forget. He pulled his SCV really far away, so that command center is super delayed. And he's also forgotten to pull another SCV onto there. You can tell this isn't the highest level game of StarCraft. Now, he did say, look, if I lose this game, I'll just go back to Protoss and we're playing US West for the rest of the games. And I was like, fair enough. But I still really wanted to punish him for daring to not play his best against me. You know, a lot of people say, oh, have some fun, be respectful of the player, give him a chance. For me, if my opponent doesn't try that hard, I legitimately am like, oh, now I really want to win. If you're playing with me, now I really want to win. I really want to beat you. So here we go. The Reaper's coming in, dancing around. He's already picked off the SCV that was running home. My command center is being quite delayed right now, but as the Marines are coming out two at a time, we're doing all right. Now, of course, I'd already gone Marine into reactor before seeing it was a TVT, so now I find myself in an awkward spot where Astrea's doing pretty normal stuff. Multiple Reapers, he's got a factory on the way, and I, on the other hand, am trying to defend with a much less mobile unit. The Reaper's gonna come in there. Astrea's trying to bully me right now, say, look, mate, I've got 6.7k micro, dude. Gets the SCV, gets in, gets out. And I'm not going to lie, I think I was mouthing a little bit at this point. I was like, oh, I want to just run out there and hope he's not looking and catch them, but it's a bit too dangerous. Luckily, I got a Hellion popping out here as well. He's going to go after me, Marine, but the Hellion with his flamethrower says, get out of here. Get out of here, you silly guy. Behind that, he's going to go for the starport a little bit after my starport, which is already down, of course. And I've got a tech lab on the way to add some cyclones. Going out here, trying to catch these Reapers, but I can't quite find them. They're just out there on the left side. Still keeping map control is Astrea, and he's doing it really, really well. Can't lie, pretty frustrating to deal with. I also don't like one-racks expands in general, but I didn't scout early enough to change my build order because you need to send an SCV at the very start of the game. I'm much happier with one-racks expand versus Zerg or Protoss, but on the other hand, he didn't spawn as Protoss, which is kind of the main thing. Because even if you pick random, it sounds cool. If you just spawn as your main race as a pro gamer, it's not a handicap at all. In fact, it's just a huge buff because your opponent doesn't even know what they're playing against. Now, he's going for Ravens. Keep in mind, this is a new map, Neo-Humanity. There's some minerals down here you can mine away for 2 gold mineral trips. You've also got the new balance patch on right now. So we're both building these new Ravens that spam out these auto turrets that are way weaker. They die a lot quicker, but they do the same damage. And, of course, the Ravens build faster and cost 50 less energy. That's a lot of Reaper Hellion right now. My Hellion and Cyclone go out of the map, and that is a little bit of a mistake if I get caught out, but I grab a Reaper, pull on back for now. The Marines come forward. They feel very flaccid right now. Marines in the early game of TVT are basically just this very immobile unit that your opponent moves around and never actually chooses to fight against. The Drilly Boys, though, giving a bit of a touch-up, cleaning up the paint on this Cyclone and Hellion until they're back to full hit points. We can see that's a lot of Reaper Hellion. First Raven's just chilling at home for him. He's building another Raven and a second starport at a factory. So he's trying to play mech. Okay, so he's trying to play mech here, man. I know I sound really surprised. I forgot that it was actually mech. I remember he built a lot of ravens, but it's all a blur. I play and watch so much StarCraft, I forget it. Now, I'm going to come in for the auto turret harass. I'm a bit surprised to see a raven there defending, but I'm like, well, it doesn't really have any defensive tools. And he drops an auto turret to block my auto turret, which at first I was like, whoa, that's such a smart idea. Then I realized, wait, I still killed 2 SCVs and you wasted just as much energy as me. So that's a net positive for me. As long as I focus the SCVs, I'm like, that's a really dumb way to defend. He'd be better off just dropping auto turrets and my mineral lines at the same time. But this is the sort of clown stuff. When you get a creative player playing their off race, and I think I'm using it a bit more logically. Him not so much. I've stopped at 2 ravens. He's now building 2 more, trying to get to 4. We kill yet another Hellion there with the Cyclone. And my own second Raven is up on that top right, ready to drop some more auto turrets. When I do, please. But, man, he's starting to scare me a little bit. We get another tank volley off, though. Another Reaper or 2 go down. And you can see he's losing a lot of units. He's bleeding him out. He's lost 3 Reapers a Hellion. We've both lost the same SCV count. I have 2 my Raven home. And that's going to be an awkward moment. As these 3 Ravens see my Raven sees those Ravens. If you drop an auto turret, it's not going to get many hits off before their one leaves, though. I do it anyway because I'm a donkey. And almost get a Raven, but not quite. The Hellion chase is a little bit too far as well. Astrea's looking to land some big auto turret spam, maybe some interference matrix spam. But I'm happy to engage him out here. The tank shots will be massive, not to mention the auto turrets going down ahead of his. Oh, he's trying to bust through, but the auto turrets are not as tanky as they used to be, remember. So you really need to be decisive in these fights. He's burning a lot of energy here. Hellions can kill the Marines, but the tank, the Cyclone, hold on just barely. Behind this, I've got more tanks kind of spread through my base in a really unbreakable situation right now. We go into the 4th and 5th barracks, and I'm realizing I've been mismacroing kind of bad. I've forgotten to start the upgrades. Thrown into the new balance patch and going, man, what is this heavy Raven stuff, and what should I do against it? But I realized after defending that push, he's burnt a crazy amount of energy. I've traded way better than him, as you can see in the units lost. Not to mention, he's investing in mass Raven. They're low on energy right now. If I can force a fight now, he's not ready to fight me. So he scans. I don't think he realizes I'm pushing across the map, or maybe he does. But I have realized on this map, there is a dirty spot back here, and I'm beelining towards it. He's not expecting that. He doesn't have much vision out of the map. He's going to move to this right side. He's got the Diva voice pack on. Oh my god, doesn't it? Does he play tournaments with the Diva voice pack on? He must. There's no way he changed his voice pack just to play against me. This man plays World Championship matches with the Diva voice pack. I don't know if I can support such actions. That is disrespectful to the seriousness of competition. But it absolutely fits with Astrea's character. Now, it's a ton of Raven Hellion. Oh my god, 17 Hellions, like 7 Ravens coming in. Interference matrices go down everywhere, but he's not dropping auto turrets just yet. Already, one of the Ravens went down, and the Hellions are not moving forward. Those Hellions need to move on top to defend. Meanwhile, I've landed a Viking in the main base. That's going to start doing damage. There's a Raven and a Viking there, picking away at him as well, but I do lose me other Raven. The Hellions did not dive on top, though, so they were only shooting 1 unit at a time, and no auto turrets dropped, so that didn't go down. Somehow, the Viking's still alive in the main. And at this moment, I'm going, oh, yes! But you know what? I'm also realizing I just floated 1,500 minerals, and I've dropped a bunch of stuff in my production tab. Now, that production tab you might think looks like good macro. Let's be honest, I'll own up to it. That's not so much good macro as it is me spending my money that I banked up from not macroing for the previous minute straight. We're still sieging here. And look at that, dodging the auto turrets, and they get shot down so quickly by the tanks. They get 2-shot. A new Viking lands in the back of the main. And I'm going, how do you feel about playing random verse me now, Astrea? You think you're so brave? You think you're so strong playing the random versus random challenge? Absolutely butchering his work account. He's going to drop another auto turret down here. But even the unsieged tank and the Marines can kill it so quickly. And his natural is forced to lift. Behind this, I've got a 4th on the way. Adding more barracks past the 5 barracks that are already up. I've got a 2nd tech lab as well. Or even 3 tech labs. So I can go heavy Marauder versus the mass Blue Flame Hellion. Auto turrets ain't going to be stopping anytime soon. Another 2 SCVs going down, not to mention some damage on the Hellions. And I picked up a Marine, 2 Marines and a tank to drop in the main base. I am running circles around him. And Ravens might be amazing units when you've got lots of energy and you take a decisive engagement and then get ahead. But when you're on the back foot, having to drop auto turrets like this defensively, they feel very flaccid indeed. It really does feel like not the best comp, does it? And it looks like finally he might be cleaning it up. But Michael, look at how many auto turrets it takes, man. You can see these new auto turrets are so fragile. And he is just taken out. We've got a Liberator sieging on the left here. Bio dropping there. And I was sieging tanks in this beautiful spot. If you guys ever play this map, if you can get tanks here, it cuts their bases off. It's super deadly. And that there is what you do when a pro gamer disrespects your abilities. All right, we're into game 2. So I've now spawned as Protoss on the bottom right side of the map, getting his best race. And a race which I've put a lot of practice into recently. Astrea is in the top left side of the map as Zerg. And he's missed getting Protoss again. I've got Protoss here. It's Babylon. It's a medium-sized map, so pretty fair all around. And of course, a bit of banter in the chat. For those who don't know, after that last game, I was making fun of Astrea. I was saying, oh, Astrea, I think you need some coaching, buddy. Don't worry, World Championships coming up. I will offer you free complimentary coaching. All you need to do is pay me by accepting hugs from Fear Dragon. For those who don't know, Fear Dragon is both an esteemed commentator, but also an unashamed fanboy of the North American players. And if Astrea, Neeb, Scarlet, any of those big dogs in the American scene, let him give them a hug. It's going to be kind of like a guy who hasn't had human contact, has been alone on an island for 10 years getting a hug. There's going to be like holding on too long. There's going to be whimpering. It's just going to be awkward for everyone except Fear Dragon involved. Now, Astrea's agreed. He says, I'll give him an extra hug if you tell me your race. I'm like, you know what? No, not worth it. And I've chosen not to tell my race here in this one. So we're going to be going for the gas pool is Astrea. I'm coming in for the little scout to see what I'm up against, just to get a bit of that info, and we'll do a little bit of the worker harass, super pro level worker harass here. And when I say super pro, I mean probably the opposite of that. But let's see, can we delay him from his mineral patches? Well, a little bit. We're annoying him a tiny bit. We're distracting him. Nexus and Cybercore will go down at home. See 150 minerals, but there we go. Where's that Cybercore? Nicely placed. Probe's going to come back in, obviously letting those shields regen before we start to occupy the minerals one more time. And ha-ha, look at that. And oh no, I accidentally mined the 5 minerals. That's okay. It's because I'm focused on hitting my build perfectly behind it. Getting the second gas. The second pylon will go down in a moment there. And this is an interesting matchup. Now, I figure Astrea's going to be pretty conservative. He's down a game. And not just that, but I guess I should address it. Sorry, he's played random again, guys. He said he was going to swap to Protoss. And I picked this map specifically. Did I pick this map because I thought he was going to play Protoss? Yeah, I think because I wanted a short map in case I got TVP, and if I played ZVP, I wanted to all-in him. So he then decided, in the loading screen, or as we were in the lobby, he actually swapped to random and said, no, I'll play random again. Now, this was swapped back to the US West server, though, so he took the ping advantage back, the cheeky bugger. But he still felt that after that last game, he's like, oh, I just got unlucky. And I was like, dude, you are one game away from being eliminated. You're going to get wiped out here. I can't believe you're trying to do this. So I figured, look, it's Astrea. He's going to try and play really safe here, beat me in a macro game, and then maybe swap to Protoss in the third one to finish off the series. But I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit annoyed that you do it like that, dude. I think I can smash this. A little bit of dodgy adept micro there. Not the best starter step. Oh my god, I even hit the queen. 2 Spore Tricks is damage, but it's not as much as it should be. We got a drone and 2 Spore Tricks. At the end of the day, that's not too bad. And there's still very few Zerglings, but if I lose both these adepts, that could be an issue. So we're going to dive straight in one more time. And I think that might have been an accident. No, we're going for it. All right, we're just going to back off. Pulling that adept away, shading out oracles on the way behind it. 2 Zerglings going to come into me base. Me adept will go after those and try to defend them. But at the same time, I'm distracted by the Zerglings, which means the adept gets surrounded and killed. Oh no, I'm noobing it. Oh no. Oh my god, you get out of here. Astrea trying to fight back for his pride. He's already dropped a game to an absolute pleb commentator here, and he wants to prove that I'm a baddie, I'm a dummy, and that he's way better than me. But I am now motivated more than ever. I'm like, you know what? What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a third. In just a moment, we're going to do some Oracle harassment, and then I'm going to go for a Stalker pressure to kill his 4th base while he's building Roaches and Ravagers. We're going to use Oracles and about like 6 or 8 Stalkers to do that, and then I'm just going to play a big Blink Disruptor game. Now, I don't think he can contest me there because I know his Zerg micro is not going to be like that practiced. He's okay at dodging Disruptors with Blink Stalkers. It's a different beast when you've got a giant Roach Ravagerling Bane army, which is what I'm pretty sure he's going to go for. Now, I try a cute double back there, leaving my laser on, hoping the Queens would assume I'm leaving for good, but he stayed in position, and now my Oracle's dangerously low. But the 3rd base is on the way behind it. And there are overlords in my base seeing just about everything I'm doing, which is making me uncomfortable. So I'm making a Stalker to hunt that guy down. And he's going melee. Astrea, being the naughty little bugger that he is playing no safety. No Roach Warren, no Bane Nest. He's doing nothing but going for melee and mass drones off the back of 5 Queens now. A 6th Queen about to pop out. Looks like that Overlord will go down there. The Urubus flying around the sides of this map, seeing what they can get up to. Oracle comes in and grabs 2 workers, but it's also deep in the red. So I got to say, net gain, 5 drones, a couple Zerglings and Overlord. It's okay damage, but it's definitely not something to brag about and go, oh, I'm way ahead now. It looks like it would be a pretty good game. But what I don't realize is he's gone that fast, Evo. I never got that deep into the main base, did I? So without knowing about the evolution chamber, little piggy from last week does not know about the melee upgrade. I'm going for Robo so I can get a Warp Prism. I'm going to show these Stalkers, which kind of gives away what I'm doing, and that especially may convince him to just go mass Zergling here. He's got a quick 4th base on the way. Me Oracles are going to come up and try to spot where that 4th is. Is it up here or is it down on the bottom? And we're going to start warping in more and more Stalkers to move across that map and see if we can get a cancel on it, especially before it's finished. But that is such an early 4th base, starting on the 5-minute mark. Could cause us trouble. Astrea is building a Baneling nest, but he's still only on 3 gases, so he's playing only 58 drones, which is not that high. I should be ahead on workers, but I suck at probing, so I'm still down. And here we go, the Stalker pressure is going to come in. We're going to start by snagging these 2 Overlords for free, rally a few more guys up, got some stasis traps. We're going to bait him into this. And if he tries to swarm, he's going to run into stasis traps. And if we can kill this 4th, this will be great. Behind it, I'm going to get a big gateway explosion. You can see I'm starting to add all of those. And we are just going to do the Blink Stalker Oracle play that is so standard. I've only been practicing it for a few weeks. My Blink is really late, but it should be okay. Astrea says, what should be okay? 20 Zerglings running into my 3rd base. I'm trying to warp in Zealots, try to run the probes a few seconds late, and oh my god, every single probe looks like they're going to die. Maybe one gets away to tell the... No, not even one. Oh, meanwhile, Queens defend me up at the front. Even one of them does go down. Oracles both have to turn on their lasers to deal with these Zerglings, and I just lost 16 probes. All I needed to do against a guy massing this many Zerglings was defend and survive, but I've screwed the pooch right now. By the way, a really weird saying, that one. Whoever first came up with that saying, please explain. Bit of a weird thing to say when you think about it, you know, literally. Oracle is going to clean up these Zerglings. One of them's out of energy. Does look like those Zerglings blocked by the Stalkers will be going down. A few more links coming in on the 3rd, though. Got to be careful of that. Ooh, okay. Just getting units warped in. A couple of slow Zealots to try and deal with things. Now, Astrea basically just ran Lings at me and then built another 30 drones and is now at 80 workers. This is disgusting. This man is literally doing a Protost's impression of what Zerg is. Like, A, move some Lings, make 80 drones, and then I'll just roll +2 Banelings at you. That's literally all you need to do as Zerg. There's always something strangely efficient and to the point about an off-race pro player playing the race that they despise and struggle against. Like, there's always something where they have like an extra element of like, oh, that's kind of abusive. That's really smart and effective. Why didn't I think of just doing that every game? And it's not always 100% strategy, but it is always a frustrating strategy for the opposing race to play against. And I know at this point, I can't get in and do damage, so I'm like, let's try and go Robo Bay. I'm going to go double Robo, Colossus, Disruptors, add some Archons maybe, try and turtle on 4 base. Maybe he just walks into Disruptor shot so we can do some stuff. Little do I realize that there is mass Baneling coming across this map. Astrea's like, you may have beaten me in TVT, but that's because Terran is hard. And I'm a Protoss player, but even Protoss players can A-move Banelings! And he's gonna roll in towards me, Zealot Stalker. They're trying to spread. Me probes are trying to evac, but I don't have enough damage. I'm gonna try and do the recall. That is a sick recall if it can get off. And like 3 probes got actually recalled. And it wasn't very effective. 11 probes go down. I mean, that's not cheap for him. It costs him a lot of resources, but I'm only at 50 workers. He can rally link bait at me all day. I need to get on top of this, and I need to do it fast. Okay, the Colossus Bay and the second Robo are now up. I need to try and get more batteries around these bases as well, just to help reinforce those units. But really need to get those Robos started pumping out those higher tier units. Observer sees nothing but Ling Bane, and it's dawning on me that Astrea might be like, Ling Bane, lol, lol, lol. This is not Ultras, this is not Broodlords, this is not Vipers. This is literally him saying, I'm gonna make Ling Bane into more Ling Bane. After that, I'll make more Ling Bane. And then I'm going to punch you in the face. And that is not something I'm prepared for. As I do start 2 Colossus up. I haven't started the extended thermal lance for them just yet. I don't have any Archons. I don't have anything that scales against these units other than Oracles. And I kind of wish I built a 3rd Oracle, because this guy's pretty low on energy. They're both under 50 energy right now. These Zealots are going to run in with a Warp Prism, trying to pull Astrea home for a little bit. They do a little bit of damage. Going to save a few of those Zealots. Get ready to go back in a little while. But look at that. Oh god, that is so many units. I probably should force field the battery, I would imagine there. But a bit too slow to think of doing that. Oracle turns on its laser beam. But right now, it's two little laser beams trying to somehow make a dent in an immense number of Zerglings and Banelings. Stalkers blinking back to the ramp, but that means the probes on the third are wide open. The fourth Nexus has already fallen in the north. These probes trying to run, trying to hide, trying to spread. The Lingbane does pull back momentarily. Astrea apparently more focused on getting the next wave ready. He's got Adrenal Glands, +3 melee and Carapace. And I can already hear him going, wow, Pig, I thought Protoss was pretty good. I thought lasers were pretty good, but it turns out A-moving Zerg units is actually the easiest thing in the game, idiot. You know, I'm not too happy. I don't know why I chose to play a technical Blinkstalker style that requires micro finesse, understanding of timings, and good defense abilities when I'm more of an A-move Zerg myself. I should have played an A-move Protoss style, trapped in a corner, vastly outnumbered, and there's just nothing I can do against so much Lingbane and economy advantage. An exclamation mark added to the GG well played, of course, just trying valiantly to disguise my utter disgust in how he played this game. Alright, well I lost the PvZ. I should have played more of a Zealot style that I'm better at. Zealot, Storm, Immortal, that sort of stuff. Maybe done a DT drop. Those are builds that I know like the back of my hand, but I've given up the opportunity, and now of course he'll swap back to Protoss to finish the series. I'm in the top right, spawning as Protoss on altitude, and he's playing random again, and he spawned as Terran! He literally was so cocky after that last game, and he said, yeah, as expected, even off-race versus off-race, like I will smash you. And I was like, dude, are you sure? You know you're going to get eliminated from this tournament if you lose this next game. And he was like, no. And I was like, okay. And it was I actually think the last one might not have been my map pick, because I remember this one was essentially the map pick for me. And maybe it was kind of forced by the previous one when he said he was going to play random. And basically, oh, you know what? Actually, yeah, because Astrea didn't pick maps. Astrea said, you pick the map, I don't care. And I was like, well, I'm playing random. I don't know what maps will favor me anyway. So I was just picking fun maps. And I picked altitude here at first because it's big, wide open and fun, and it gets vetoed a lot, so we don't get to see much of it. But after doing that, I then went, wait a second, altitude is also really bad for Terran versus Protoss, or for Terran versus Zerg, because it's so big, it's easy to beat the defensive Protoss or Zerg. I was like, oh no, and I had a sinking feeling in my stomach, and I was like, I'm going to spawn as Terran. He's going to spawn as his main race Protoss, isn't he? And I was like, oh man, I was saying to my chat as I streamed this, I was like, this sucks, man, come on. And then we spawned in, I saw his Protoss. At this moment when my probe came in and saw he was Terran, I had a big smile on my face, and I was like, so I was like, I still don't think it's massively favored for me or anything, but if there's ever a time I'm going to be able to beat him in a PvT, it's on a giant map like this where Terran pushes take forever to get across the map. So I did screw up at the start. I started the second gas, but then cancelled it. And from now I'm like, okay, let's go full mega tryhard mode. Let's go Zealot Phoenix. Oracle opening into Zealot Phoenix. That's my favorite style. And we've already spotted that he's gone for the 1-Rax expand. Harassed him a little bit. So that's all A-okay. Now he's obviously only scouting now with this SCV. He's going to come in, see me Nexus. But doesn't really know too much other than the fact that I went Nexus before Cybercore. Cybercore is pretty late. Now he's going to beeline towards my main with a Reaper, but I've decided to do something I never do. I'm going to go Shield Battery in the main, and that allows this Adept to chrono straight across the map to put pressure on him. But I didn't realize just how quick that Reaper's going to get in here. That Shield Battery still has 15 seconds till it's done. This is super scary for me. So I've got to try and fight him with the healthy probes and pull back the weak ones. A bit of miss micro as I turn around with the red probe, which I meant to run away with. So he's already got one probe kill, but oh, he's going to get a second one. No, good probe micro by me. That red hit point probe running off to the far left side. Unfortunately, in all this micro, I wasn't shading my Adept. So the whole point of the strategy that I've never practiced falls flat, and I'm like, oh crap, I probably should be shading this Adept in, right? It's literally just gonna walk into his base and then finally do stuff. I am chronoing a second Adept, trying to probe up here and get the Stargate in the main. And his command center, I mean, you're meant to delay the command center when you do this Adept pressure. Instead, I just delay the bunker, and I'm like, oh, that's not what I was looking for, man. But we can at least slow down him, you know, building the bunker and that sort of stuff, make him a little nervous for now. Astrea. He's going to jump in the main with the Reaper, try and get a scout off. I don't think he saw me Stargate earlier, and he derps out. They're obviously a bit distracted at home. Does get a Hellion out. Takes a few hits on a Marine in the depot, but my Adept gets out with full life. And he does not know about the fact that I'm building an Oracle, which is, of course, a big advantage. It's a very big advantage, and I would say it's pretty rare to see Oracle after the Shield Battery open. It's not like those things are always correlated, but definitely might have a chance of catching him off guard. Normally I'd go Twilight Council and third base around the same time here, while trying to get up the charge for the Zealots, as well as a third base, since my opponent's done a quick expansion. You usually want to be one base ahead. Now, Hellion Reaper's going to come in. I don't want to lose any probes. Ooh, okay. Takes 3 shots to kill that probe, and the Oracle barely saves the day, but reveals itself at the same time. He's going to move across with a Widowmine drop, and he does decide to change his mind. Puts the Widowmine there. Interesting. Okay, so he's got a Widowmine on the far top left. Kind of cute area where you wouldn't expect it. He's building a Cyclone and a Viking. They're not ready just yet, but he's got a pack of Marines, and he's going to send an empty scouting medevac across the map to try and scare me. Because if you see that as a Protoss player, you assume there's Widowmines inside it. So creative for Astrea. Let's see, we're going to get an SCV here with this Oracle. Can we get a Mule? Ooh! Oh, so close to getting the Mule, but not quite able to get it. The Oracle just grabbing a single SCV and getting out of there. Medevac is there. I'm freaking out and warping in Stalkers at home. Twilight Council is up. We're making Phoenix, and we desperately need to start making Charge as well, but I've forgotten to do so. Oracle's going to fly in for a scout, and oh no! It meets its maker. That Oracle goes down, and so with it, my only detection and my only mobile scouting unit. I'm going to have to build a few Phoenix real quickly to try and get those out there. And of course, the Phoenix is going to go out to the side of the map and try and find that empty medevac. Third base is getting probed up for me. Meanwhile, Astrea has gone quick third command center. So he's playing a big boy macro style. Now, I didn't see that with the Oracle, and that's really unfortunate, because if I knew that, I could take a fourth and play super greedy here, or I could go super all in. But instead, I'm playing with that fear of that Widowmine drop. So my Phoenix can't go across the map. I've got Phoenix patrolling here, Phoenix there, and I'm like, all right, where's that bloody Widowmine drop? Nothing triggers me more than a Terran who waits like a minute or two late until your guard's down and then comes in with the Widowmines, because it always catches me off guard. And because of that, I'm paranoid at home, and I'm missing this third command center. So I'm playing at a point now at 51, 52 probes. My third's almost saturated. And I'm thinking, hey, if he's doing a 2-base push, I don't want any more than these last couple of probes. I just want to saturate that base, and that's it. I'm going to try and move some probes forward, but I've completely forgotten to build a forward gateway on the map, which is absolutely essential with this style. And my Phoenix are finally going to poke the front and try and see what's up. We see a Viking, Tank, Raven, a bunch of Marines, more barracks in the main. Still haven't seen a third command center. So I'm actually thinking, okay, this looks like there's going to be a 2-base all-in moving out sometime in the next 30 seconds to a minute. It was a Raven. Often they leave about 7 minutes or 6:30, 6:45 with a Raven opening. I was like, yeah, maybe that's what's happening. Prepare lots of gateways, up to 8 gateways now, I think. Yeah, going to 8 gateways, building a pylon down here in the watchtower. The Phoenix are going to kind of come out there, but a little bit of a mistake. One Phoenix goes down as I stumble into him. And this giant map, notice I've got probes everywhere trying to see when he moves out across this map. The Phoenix down here on the left side are going to come in, but there's a Cyclone guarding the main base, so we can't really get anything done just yet. Widowmine takes out the probe in the watchtower. He takes care of that watchtower as well. Phoenix come in, grab an SCV. He drops an auto turret. We're just going to pull back. We didn't take any real damage there. So, oh, we're actually going to go after the Cyclone, which is very cute. 3 Phoenix can barely kill a Cyclone. We're already damaged, but the damage has been spread across the Phoenix. If we can get rid of that Viking quickly enough, this might work out. Shooting the medevac, a bit of a mistake there. The Phoenix trying to do a little bit of fancy micro, probably overly fancy, but we get the Viking, the Raven, the Cyclone, and the SCV, and that is a massive amount of damage there. But Astrea, he's got Stim, 1-1, shields, and 5 barracks bioproduction. Give him another minute and he's going to be good. And now that I'm aware of the third, I realize, oh god, why am I defending? I need to go offensive. I'm trying to start a gas robo forge transition, but that's not going to be ready for ages. I've got Zealots on the bottom right, big Zealot Phoenix on the top left, and I need to get in here. Stim is 8 seconds away. I need to go. I need to go now. This is the perfect timing just before Stim is done. He's caught out in the open. Stim not quite finished. Zealot's tearing up that natural as well. Finally, Stim kicks in, but he's already lost every Marine to these Phoenix. The Phoenix go in, pick up that siege tank on the high ground. The Zealot's tearing up the natural mineral line. More units on the third, tearing down the missile turret. We've got to finish off that siege tank, and we barely do. More energy starting to regenerate here, and we're picking up these Marines one at a time. I dive forward on the big map that favors the Protoss boy. I won every single dice roll, and I punished Astrea for being cocky enough to challenge me to a random versus random match. Oh, right. Well, it should have ended there, right? Well, the problem was Astrea came into my chat the next day, was chatting to me. He was like, oh, you cheeky bugger, you got me yesterday. And I was like, yeah. I was like, guys, look, it's Astrea in the chat. And I may have gloated a little bit. I may have claimed a few slightly facetious things, like he won every dice roll despite not getting his main race at all. That the maps were all favored for him in the matchups, not for me. completely false. But I said it with utter confidence, just ribbing my good mate Max Angel Astrea, and he was not too pleased. I do think, even though he was kind of joking with a smile, like I could tell he was joking in chat, but I also could tell I'd riled him up a little bit. And so he rocked up 3 days after we played the first match in my chat, and he said, "Pig, best of 3, random versus random rematch, let's go." And I was like, "Well, sure, buddy, I'm not afraid of you. You won every dice roll the last time. If I win any of the dice rolls this time, I am going to win." Obviously, sticking with my own facetious narrative because I'm an idiot. And game 1, Australia spawned as Protoss in the top right of Cistern. I'm Zerg in the bottom left. It's both of our best races, which sounds pretty even until you remember that my best race is maybe 5,600 and his best race is like 6,600. It's a casual 1,000 MMR gap. But you know what? I knew he was a bit thrown from the last series. I was like, he's going to be playing bit safe, bit conservative. He's going to be afraid of losing. And you know what? He's not going to get Protoss in the next 2 games. So even if I lose this one, like I was actually playing very unstressed with little fear. So I was like, you know what? Bring it on, silly Protoss guy. He's scouted. He's gone Nexus Cybercore, second gas into a second pile. This is all really standard stuff. His probe is harassing a little bit, but I'm not too concerned. Just leaving a drone chasing it so he doesn't get to micro too hard. And just kind of chilling out at the same time. And, you know, I just really love this because, like, I think if I wasn't so rude to Astrea, he wouldn't be coming back for more. And, you know, that's why beating up your opponents, part of it is insulting them as well to make sure, you know, if your opponent loses the game, that's not enough, right? My real life theory here is you need to tell them they've lost. You need to make sure they really know it in their soul. I'm being 100% serious here, guys. Nothing I say is ever sarcastic, and you should absolutely clip me out of context. Heads up. So there we go. Third base is going to be going down there as well as a probe. He's going to be getting chased by those Zerglings. We've got Adepts coming on out. Stargate up in the main base as well. He's going to chrono an Adept across the map. Next one. Is he going to chrono that bad boy? No, it looks like he's just staying defensive with it. And only built 2 Zerglings. Definitely should build a few more to deal with the Adept. Got the third hatchery down as well. Let's see what goes on. Does he go after the Lings? Yes, he does. Ooh, bit of a mistake by me to leave these Lings out here. Easy pick off there for Mr. Astrea. Gets 2 Lings already. And he's going to just head home after that. So a nice start for the game for him. He's going to leave his Adept back here as well. And I'm only building 2 more Zerglings and a 3rd Queen right now. But Overlord's on time. Not going to be too supply blocked on 36. You can see by the time I hit it, we'll have the Overlord out within about 10 seconds. Adept, thinking about coming in, decides not to. But, man, I really want to build a tumor right now. So I'm like, yeah, it's okay. We can put a tumor down. But no, he comes back for more, the cheeky bugger. So I realized, okay, we can't go creep tumor. The Ling's there running backwards. We didn't want to give him a free kill. And let's see, his Oracle should be coming out pretty soon. I haven't started my Spore Crawler yet. This is a very crisp Oracle timing. I'm not used to playing against pros, guys. Their Oracles are often like 6 to 10 seconds faster. I actually see it with the Overlord, but did I actually notice it? Let's see. I've got 2 Queens at the front, 1 in the main. Uh-oh, that Oracle could cause a bit of a ruckus in here, mate. He's building an extra pylon to reinforce his wall off. 3rd base going down as well. Very quick 3rd base. And we've got 4 Queens. Still no Spore Crawler building. Uh-oh. Oh, Piggy's playing a greedy game right now. Oracle goes in on the natural, the least defended base. I thought he was going to go for the 3rd. Slides in. My Overlords weren't well positioned either. 3 drones already dead. Make it 4, make it 5. Nope, just 4 drones. Could have been worse, to be honest. And considering I skipped Spore Crawlers, I've actually saved a few drones' lives already. I just need to make sure I don't take so much damage to the next wave. Where are the spores? 1 in the 3rd. 1 should be going down in the main as well. Otherwise, I could really suffer. And that spore's not quite ready. Oh, God. If he comes in right now, there might be a few seconds before the spore's done. But another queen is about to pop out. There's 2 queens nearby as well. And you know what? Shut down, son. You ain't getting in here today, Mr. Astrea, you noob. That may have been what I was shouting to my chat excitedly as I did that. Very well realizing that taking 4 drone losses and 3 Zerglings for no damage and barely scraping an Oracle probably wasn't necessarily the amazing early game I should be looking for against a god of Protoss. Now, interestingly, he's going mass gateway in the main here and charge and +1. So he's doing a charge style with at least 6 gateways so far. I've got me Queens waiting up here. If he tries to fly in, he's going to get screwed on. And very well done. We do defend that just nicely. Roach Warren, Evo Chamber, Lair, and I'm going to go up towards at least 4 gases here. Now, I don't know exactly what his follow-up is. I'm trying to send an Overlord back in. The Stalker will clean that up before we can get any very useful information. And I've already seen the third, but I don't see too much else. So not a lot of information going on. He is up to 52 probes. So he's going 3 mineral lines, but no gases on the natural or the third. And if I saw these gases missing, I would immediately be doing nothing but building roaches. Oh, he's going to cancel me 4th. At least I cancel it and get some of the money back, but that is frustrating. I'm building a few overlords right now, and roach speed and lots of roaches need to be the thing in production, and then maybe, just maybe, I can defend. I'm going melee as well. 7 roaches in production, more overlords building. I might be able to hang on if I can get enough roaches in a choke point, but he is surprising me with this. I see now some zealots coming across the map, but did I actually notice it? I'm not quite sure. More overlords and roaches will be forthcoming in a moment. And here we go, more roaches building, more roaches. I don't think I realized just how committed this attack is, though. The queens are out front. They should be pulling back to a choke point right now. I'm building a 4th base, which is the last thing I need right now. All I need is roaches, spines, evo walls, anything to hold on. And I'm moving out. I don't realize. Oh, God, that's way more zealots than I thought it would be. And that is a big scary. That's what I call that. The drones are being pulled. The queens are going to transfuse. He's got a stasis trap back there, but I don't think I'll be chasing that far out anyway. Drones thinking about hold positioning. And there we go. The drones are on hold position, but they're not fully blocking. I need to block a little bit more of the surface area. I try to reposition them, but the zealots are getting pretty good action on these roaches. And that is a big problem. I am absolutely, completely surprised by this attack. Astrea going for a huge 3-base, 52 probe timing attack. I finally get back to the ramp, which I should have pulled back to much earlier there. But I've lost so much firepower. If I got 10, 15, 20 roaches on this ramp, it's a different story because I'm one-shotting these zealots. But now he's able to literally just headbutt up the ramp, even past the hold position drones, which he targets down. Astrea comes in with a vicious timing, and he says, 3-base charge lot, boy. And I'm like, what? You're so favored versus me. Why risk everything on a silly timing like this? Astrea's like, because I am a silly boy at heart, and you embarrass me, and it's my turn to embarrass you. And I'm like, oh, get out of here. I see pro gamers lose to this when Hero does it. Come on. I don't feel that bad about losing this. I just wish you played a bit more conservative when your pride was on the line. Astrea, though, when his pride is on the line, seems to meme harder than ever. A lot of players go into like a defensive shell and they get too stiff in their play. He seems to just play more unashamed, unafraid, just strong, risky, powerful StarCraft than ever before. The roaches and the ravagers trying to shoot down these zealots. The zealots going after him. Behind it, he's building immortals +2 and all this stuff. And immortal has walked forwards. I stumble into a stasis trap, and that immortal is an absolutely ridiculous problem for me in this game. Because all I can really do is kite the zealots and shoot them down in the choke points. But the immortal will gun the roaches down so hard. And I can't afford to lose any drones. Obviously, 56 probes to 21. It's all ogre, man. He surrounds my rally down there. The immortal not doing the best job up here, but I don't really have enough roach drone to take him down either. Once again, guys, remember, if you put an exclamation mark and say good game, well played, nobody can see your tears. All right, going into game 2, and I've spawned a Zerg again. Heck yeah. Look, I may have lost that one, but that was his best race. He's not going to spawn his Protoss again this game. Probably unlikely to do it in the game after that as well. And he spawned his Protoss. Ah, disgusting. I don't know it. I remember I was thinking at this point in the game, I was like, cool, Zerg versus Zerg. Pretty sure I beat him. Zerg versus Terran. I have a very good chance of beating him as long as I don't get surprised by a sneaky timing attack. Cheeky double battlecruiser rush. Like, I don't think he'll be able to beat me with solid straight up play in those matchups. So I'm like, you know what, feeling pretty good. And of course he spawns his Protoss. And you know, looking at this in hindsight, guys, and telling you the whole story, I feel like there's a lesson to be learnt about, you know, taunting your opponent, talking smack, claiming that they won the dice rolls when you actually won the dice rolls. But at the end of the day, and thinking hard, I've realized that the one big lesson that I've learnt is essentially I should have smack talked harder. And then maybe I could have conned him into playing not random, but off-race versus off-race. Because instead, I could have been like, oh, if you really want to show, we can do Protoss versus, you know, I'll play Protoss, you play Terran, you know, we play Zerg versus Terran, me Terran, you Zerg. We could have done that sort of stuff. But unfortunately, no, I'm an absolute, I just didn't smack talk hard enough. So remember, that's it. That's the lesson to be taken from this, guys. It's definitely not to not talk so much smack and then give a rematch. I mean, arguably, the other one, and I know a lot of fathers know about this, so let me know in the comments if you have children that you've played StarCraft with. Okay, let's finish that thought really quick before we talk about what we just saw. Do you guys, I've heard a lot of stories of people where the kid starts beating the dad finally beats the kid one last time and then refuses to ever play again. It's like, no, we're done, we're never playing anymore. That's very, very common. And that's what I should have done versus Astrea after beating him in the first series. I shouldn't have given him this rematch. I haven't seen it yet, but this man is trying to troll my face off, guys. He's done a 1-gate expand build order, set with a high ground gate, and a Nexus inside my base. So he's gone Cybercore into Nexus. He's chronoing an Adept across the map, and he's going 2 more gateways. Now, I'm about to find this out as this Overlord comes out. Let's go to me camera. And I'm like, what? I immediately drop a Spine Crawler because normally this is associated with rallying Zealots in, but I do see a Cybercore and I'm like, maybe he's going to recall Adepts into my base? I don't know. But I'm like, okay, I better build some Lings and Queens. But this is a huge mistake. I actually should be droning here, making Ling speed and going for that stuff. Astrea though, this man, this is what happens when you smack talk too much. There may be more lessons to be learned. And I think seeing a Nexus in my base, I may have felt very low stakes up to this point, but when I saw that Nexus, I knew this man didn't want to just get me back. He wanted revenge for me embarrassing him. I knew that this man wanted to do the silliest thing possible and take my soul because he knew I, as a self-respecting StarCraft player, if I lose to a Nexus in my base, I'm gonna have nightmares about it. I'm gonna dream about it at night and go, I lost to a Nexus in my base, oh my god. So we do take out the Nexus there. The Nexus goes down. Queen's going to start hitting the Adept. He's building a gateway outside my base. So this is a 4-gate Adept. Warp gate now finishing. Stalk is going after the Overlord. I think it might just barely get out of there. Hopefully it does. I'm trying to come down here with Lings. I'm like, oh, as long as I can stop this, we should be good. So I'm going after the pylon. Maybe I could have taken that down. Dude, if I click the pylon, Pig! But I'm so afraid of losing the game and losing to the Nexus now that I'm panicking. I'm freaking out. For some reason, the Spine Crawler is still in my main. It hasn't moved to the front. I don't have a Roach Horn. Why don't I have a Roach Horn? And the Overlord died. The Stalker got an Overlord kill. It could even kill another one if it chooses to. The Adepts are now coming in. These are not Glaive Adepts. Normally when people do 1-base all-ins, they go Glaive Adepts into like Archons and DTs. But he's doing a super weird, just unupgraded Adept version. And he's in the mineral line where I can't deal with it. The Spine's out of range as well. The Lings are running back and forth. And this may be what some of you call justice. You shouldn't have smack talked Astrea. I will say no. Look at this. Oh my god. Look at the positioning. His Adepts and Stalkers are wedged in between the pylons, so I can't get a surface area on them. I try to build a Spore to save that drone. It ends up dying anyway as it tries to run away. More and more Adepts and Stalkers coming in. My Roach Horn finally starts. I'm building a Spore because I'm already thinking about the DT follow-up, which isn't coming. This is clearly a 5-gate, 1-base all-in, but I'm just not clued into it because I'm too worried about losing to a silly. And you know what? Right now, it's looking like Astrea is not just going to be taking my my victory away from me. He's also going to be taking my soul. This man holds back not at all. He says, I'm here to embarrass you, little piggy. And fee fi fo fum, I smell the blood of a cocky commentator. That's what I smell here. And I think Astrea has harvested that blood very well. Gets on in there, the drones are going down. I once again am going to cover my face and cry into my hands with the, oh no, GG, well played, you played really well. You definitely didn't take my soul and embarrass me, you bastard. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this saga into my greatest accomplishment in the last month or two, beating Astrea, and then immediately having the smile wiped off my face. If you enjoyed it, please do click on some of the other videos on the screen, and a big thanks to everyone supporting the Patreon. If you guys want to support the Patreon, there's a link in the description. A bunch of new people have hopped on. I want to say a big thanks to all of you, and a special thanks to our biggest supporters, Jacob G, the Leviathan, and of course, Max Dan, conductor of the D-Town Express. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, and good night.